the Chiefs narratives. Well, there's one for you. Like this team 100% has it. Pittsburgh on the other side, they're not there, right? Like that was a statement game for the other side, which was, if you're going to run into this team, and that's the whole point of this, and you have to beat them, then you don't look like you can beat them. Like, and that was my biggest thing. I was like, this team isn't even remotely fucking close to the Chiefs right now. So what were your thoughts?
Oh, buddy, my thoughts are, the Steelers are the fucking Steelers. I don't know how many times I got to say this shit on camera. It's like, my God, if you want to be the best of the mid, congratulations, you are. You guys are the best of the mid. You get into the playoffs and you fucking lose. Like any competent team they go up against, they fold. They've played 3 of the better teams in this league the last couple weeks with Philly, with Baltimore, and with the Chiefs just now. And they've gotten crushed. Yeah. They haven't even been remotely in these games. Yeah. And it's like, when are we done with this? Like, as a Steelers fan, you're probably sitting there going, holy fuck, I'm about to watch the same story again. Yeah. And every year I hear the same shit about Mike fucking Tomlin and how amazing of a coach this guy is. And this isn't to shit on them. It's like, yeah, he's a great coach. You guys have been above 500.
Winning team. Yep.
That is amazing.
Yep.
But at what point do you go, this guy can't win a big fucking game to save his life, though? Like, who's going to be the scapegoat now, right? Like, you have a top 3 defense in this league, again, as you usually do. Now you have a serviceable quarterback, right? Mm-hmm. And you're going up against these teams in these meaningful games, and you're getting your ass handed to you. I don't know where we're going to go with this, and it's been like this for the last 10 years. They had the best offense in football. Ben Roethlisberger, Le'Veon Bell, amazing. Antonio Brown, studs, and they couldn't fucking get to the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. So at what point do you sit here and do you go, what the fuck do we need to actually be a good team? And
I think they are a good team, but I think, are they a great team? And that's the narrative here that we should be saying, right?
So if you can't win a big game, who's at fault here, right?
They've always been a good team in the last, like you said, in the last little bit, they've definitely been there. But I find with Pittsburgh, it goes through this spell of like getting a piece that's now filling a piece, and then another one falls off, and then it's kind of like a rotating circle of like, now you got TJ Watt, and this guy's fucking incredible, and you had Najee Harris go off that one fucking first of the rookie season, and then all this kind of happened, and then they thought they had Kenny Pickett as part of this fucking big narrative, and then they had to go and chase fucking Russell Wilson and Justin Fields, and now they're trying to like constantly fill in these spots that were once filled with the guys that you mentioned there, and it's just been a rotating affair of trying to figure this shit out constantly and never really pulling it together offensively. Like, I thought this team somewhat had I want to say a dynamic offense that they could start to play those things, and I think that's how Coach T was fucking trying to play it through. There was like, okay, on these plays, I might work with Russell Wilson. On this, I might roll with Justin Fields. On this, I might go run heavy with Jalen Warren. On this, I might go with Najee Harris. And you start fucking seeing his motions happen, but then collectively, it still has to equate to wins. And that's in these games, in the last 3 games, no, like it hasn't. And I say, this is why I said this last week. Does this team win against the Bengals the way that they're going right now? And the only thing that I will say is, like, if the defense shows up for the Bengals, even remotely, I don't think they do. And so, yeah, like, you're running into this situation where you're a good team, all right, but you're not a great team. So, yeah. I don't know.
So what do you do? And this was my thing. It's like, okay, at the end of the day, I don't give a fuck how good your team is. You need a good quarterback. A good quarterback in this league. You look at every team that's in the finals. Quarterback. Now,
every single one of the ones that we're going to name here in the next little bit here are all going to be great quarterbacks.
Well, I look at last year as an example.
Like, who's a playoff contender that doesn't have a great quarterback right now?
Great. Well, this is where you have to establish what great is, right?
No, but I would say run Philly. Jalen Hurts, collectively, his production is great. It can be great. Right?
I would teeter along the line of, I don't even know if he's a great quarterback.
I would say
I think he fits that system perfectly, and that's where it's like
which
the
production
mold of the
value
team,
makes
right?
you great. So, like, regardless of how whatever you want to say, passing, whatever bullshit you want to say, his production value, rushing TDs, and all the rushing yards and the other stuff.
Is he a great quarterback?
Jared Goff, I would say, is a great quarterback. I would say
See, I think it's
this
the
year
same
and
as
last
Jalen
year,
Hurts.
he's been great. Like
I
it
think
does, but I
there's.
think you go through these peaks and valleys, right? Like
Are
Russell
you
Wilson was
separating like
considered a
elite
great quarterback
quarterbacks
and
and then
now
going to
is
great?
not a great. He's good, right?
He's yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
so
So then,
you're taking away like elite is its own tier, and then you're
yes,
going great and then good. So you're
good,
putting Russ in
correct.
the good, and then those guys in the
Yeah, if we
great.
did one of
Okay.
those like S charts, and maybe we can
Yeah,
do this
yeah,
another
yeah,
time.
yeah.
But like I would put exactly what you just said, like
We
Josh
know who the
Allen,
top
Patrick
guys are.
Mahomes,
Yeah.
and Lamar, 1, 2, 3 at the elite, and then fill in the rest. Great,
Yeah.
good, whatever. But like I think he's considered good. Jalen's considered great. Now Russell's considered good. Like he's not great this year. He's
Yeah.
good. He's good. He does a job, and that's what we've either asked him to do.
And
So
I think this is where, you know what, and the one saving grace I will have, because I didn't want to have any sort of like what ifs coming into this argument,
mhm.
because I wanted to spew this out. And all the Steelers fans out there, I want to know what you guys are thinking too at the exact same time.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know you're sitting there pounding sand watching this shit get run back again. Like you guys you're having a great year. You've lost 3 straight. This was where it was the prove it moment for you guys. And you're like, for fuck's sakes, here we go again.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to know, and you guys can put it in the comments wherever, tag us. I want to know how you're feeling as Steeler fans out there, because this
Yes.
has got to be frustrating as fuck to watch. And it reminds me of when we had Andy Dalton, and it was just like great defense. We got to the playoffs, we'd lose every fucking first round,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like we were the best of the mid, and we could just never win the game. And it's almost worse than just being ass, because at least when you're ass, you know you're ass. Right? You don't got to go
Fair.
through this fucking turmoil.
Good point.
And it's like, holy shit, man, because they get your hopes up, right?
Yeah.
But I think the saving grace for them was they had George Pickens back. It was a home game.
Mm-hmm.
It was a home game. They had everything they needed, and they still got their asses handed to them
Mm-hmm.
by the Chiefs. And I will say, this was the fairest win I've seen from the Chiefs and the most convincing win
Mm-hmm.
I've seen from